she lied, and I don't appreciate it. She ain't gotta act ugly.
You ripped off a friend of your mother's.
Judge Joe Brown, now you being a hot mess.
Did you dare say that?
All rise for Judge Joe Brown.
Whoa!
Experience, knowledge, and a passion for the truth.
I'm protecting womanhood and promoting manhood.
Bringing no-nonsense justice to Americans everywhere.
If you listen, you may learn something.
It's time for Judge Joe.
A woman's payment in presses and perms just won't do. Customer service representative Michelle Dixon is suing her mom's friend for a personal loan. Defendant LaDonna Fenderson says after everything she's done for the plaintiff and her mom, they should be even. Now, here's Judge Joe Brown.
You're suing a friend of your mother for failing to repay a loan you made to her so that she would not get evicted.
Correct, yes.
And you are what, 21, 23, 24? 24. How do we come to be here?
Well, it began a year ago, and basically what happened was...
How did you come to meet her?
Through my mother. My mother told me that she was hanging out with her a lot, and I was just, you know, being a daughter, trying to figure out who was her friends. So when I finally met her, you know, she seemed real nice and real cool, so I said, okay. And
hey, excuse me.
basically, yeah, she seemed
Why
real
are you
nice.
interrupting?
She ain't gotta act ugly. I wasn't nice.
Excuse me. Stop that.
Okay.
So as I was saying, she seemed real nice. So my mom got sick over the summer, and basically nobody was there to help me while I was helping my mother out. And this was supposed to be her friend. So we talked, and she told me the reason why, so I said, okay. And things further down the line, my house catch on fire. And me and my mom own the same house. So the house catches on fire, and when I find out, you know, I rush back. Now everybody's coming over and everything, and, you know, because they know that we got money coming. So when the money...
you got a settlement from the damages that were suffered as a result of the fire.
Right, exactly. So basically, after everybody found out about the fire,
gathered around.
Yes, everybody wanted to be there and supportive and helping me. And
Judge Joe Brown.
You're not making yourself look good. The best thing you could do right now for
I'm not liking the way she wording this stuff. She being a hot mess. Excuse my language.
And you're acting like a hoochie mama, too. So if you want me to get candid about my commentary, open the door. Be quiet.
A hoochie mama would have their girlfriends hanging out and their cheeks hanging out.
What do you think you're doing? You're
a
a mama's friend, not 18, 19 years old.
Exactly, and I didn't hang out with her. Although we drank together on occasion, and then she brought...
She is old enough to buy whiskey. I already indicated that. So why don't you stop and act your age and not your particular deportmental disposition?
Ooh, Judge Joe Brown, now you being a hot mess. You being a hot mess. Because, see, SpongeBob...
Be quiet.
Oh, Judge Joe Brown,
Be quiet.
Oof. Okay.
You have the floor, young lady.
Okay, I'm gonna give it
so as I was saying, when the fire happened, everybody came around. I noticed my mom started hanging out with her more. So I said, okay, well, you know, just keep in mind that, you know, people come all of a sudden when they know you got money.
But I had already been around.
So afterwards, a little bit down the line around November, Mac asked me to come over our house. I had got a phone call, and me and my cousin went over there. As I was coming over there...
Girl, get to the point.
If you open your mouth one more time until I tell you, I'm going to assess a $100 administrative assessment against you for disrupting these proceedings. Now, proceed.
So November comes, I go over our house with my cousin, who was actually my witness that I had signed a promissory note about the money that I lent her. She told me to come in the room. I went in the room with her, and she basically told me what was going on. So then she told me she needed $1,000 because she was about to get evicted. So I said, well, I don't feel comfortable lending that much money out because I never did that before. That was my first time ever lending out money. So
sure got a bad experience, didn't you?
Right. It just taught me a big lesson. So I I basically was talking to her about it, and I felt bad, so she even brought it up. Well, you can write out a letter, and we'll both sign. So I said, okay, and I'll have witnesses. I wrote the letter
Well, let me put it
out.
this way. I'm in possession of a notarized copy of a notarized document, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 witnesses to this, so I have an agreement. You will loan her $1,000.
Right. And I told her, I said, you pick the day that you want to pay me back. And we both agreed on December 7th. So after
Have
that,
you been paid back?
No, sir.
Now, when December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day came, did any money get offered to you?
No, sir.
Is it or is it not the fact, please, ma'am, that you attempted to...
She just lied. Because you asked her, did she get paid back or...
Administrative assessment, 100.
Oh.
Now, is it or is it not a fact that as a result of your calls, some 10 days or thereabouts later, you heard from the defendant?
Right, exactly, yes. It was around my mom's birthday, and she said that she would talk with me about paying me back, and I never got nothing back, so I waited. A couple of months passed. Then I gave her a 10-day notice sent through certified mail, letting her know that if she didn't pay me back, she would be sued.
I have a copy of that. All right, I have a copy of the transaction from Bank of America. Okay, now, over here. You defend yourself.
You was torturing me by taking so long, Judge Joe Brown. But anyhow.
Did you dare say that?
Yeah, you knew I wanted to speak, and you charged me $100 for wanting to correct her
Close
when she
your
told
mouth.
a tale.
You're lucky this isn't what I used to do, where it might be 6 weeks into the trial, and you've been keeping your mouth shut and sitting with some respect at your seat, where the defendants sit for 6 weeks, 8 hours a day without opening your mouth.
Anyway, Miss SpongeBob Square in here lying. She lied, and I don't appreciate it, and it me off, because I called her.
You know, it's a misdemeanor in California, which you just committed to do that during an arbitration
Now, you know what,
or judicial
that $100
proceedings.
I pay.
Now, it ain't 100. That's a misdemeanor you just committed if I choose to charge you as such. The statutes say that kind of inappropriate behavior using profane, vulgar, or obscene language that is not a recitation of the statement of a witness.
Swearing to tell the truth and still lying. What about that?
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown.
She called me and asked me could I do her hair for her.
Yeah, you're also collecting an assistance check from Michigan, so I would love to know whether you're reporting the earned income. I would love to know that.
No, I don't report it because it ain't enough. Shoot, with the assistance what they giving me, that ain't enough.
And later today,
he said he was really adamant in me getting started in this organization. So he said, I will pull the money out of my own pocket and pay for this health package. I said, I cannot afford to pay this back. This is $900 and I cannot afford this.
It's Joe time after this.
we're back with Judge Joe Brown. The plaintiff in this case says she met her mom's friend last year and she seemed nice enough. She says their house caught on fire and they got a nice settlement, so the vultures started circling, including the defendant. Let's take a look.
You are about to overstep your bounds.
Okay. I contacted her by phone. First, she did loan me the money. I contacted her by phone. I asked her, do you want me to give you half of it? $500 ain't a drop in the bucket. That was halfway through me paying her completely off. She said no, she'd rather have all her money at one time. On top of that, I do hair at home. I do hair at home from time to time. She called me and asked me could I do her hair for her. I only charge her a couple of pennies to do her hair, whereas if she had went to a shop, she'd have been paying triple that.
Yeah, you're also collecting an assistance check from Michigan, so I would love to know whether you're reporting the earned income. I would love to know that. Whether I would like to know that.
No, I don't report it because it ain't enough. Shoot, with the assistance what they giving me, that ain't enough. I need more than that.
You just testified I know that you've committed a felony.
That's not
to
a
wit,
felony.
defrauding
Let me tell you,
the
that's not a
Department of
felony.
Public Assistance. Now, Big Mouth, keep going.
Judge Joe Brown, that's not a
Keep
felony.
going,
if
Big
she
Mouth.
comes and asks me to do her hair,
Keep
you
going,
think I'm gonna go
fool.
through that cornbread without
Keep
getting
going,
paid?
fool. You said that without
Okay.
even being asked about it. You volunteered it, idiot.
I ain't no idiot. I got plenty of sense. You think I'm gonna sit her down? She got a weave on back of that today. But you think I'm gonna sit her down and go through that cornbread and not get paid,
What does
tearing
this
my
have to do
knuckles
with the
up?
story?
That happens to be a felony. That's welfare
Well, you know
fraud,
what? I
fool.
won't worry about that bridge when I
Well,
cross to
I
Judge Joe
won't.
Brown.
I will just probably get another invitation to Detroit and get another commendation for having exposed criminal behavior. I got
Well,
a lot
you know
of those,
what?
right?
You got so
go
much
ahead,
time
yeah.
on your hand to do that. You should be seeing about helping get me a job, seeing that I don't have one.
I see why you don't.
What about
Come
me
on, Miss
helping
Drama
her mother
Queen.
out? I helped her mother out a lot. She had to be to work
You
at
better
12
go call
o'clock.
her mama. Now, the bottom line is you have no defense. So
Yes,
the
I
end
do.
of the
You
matter.
ain't
My
heard it.
opinion is
You
the only
didn't
one to
give me
make
a
it.
chance to say what
All
my
right,
defense
Hoochie
is.
Mama, put your hand back on your hip so you can assume the
Judge Joe
pose.
Brown, you
You
know what?
ripped off a friend of your mother's.
ripped off nothing.
Your mother's your friend. You just
don't even
ripped
much know
off.
what you talking
You
about, man.
fraudulent little hussy.
Ooh.
And
Now,
by
you know
the way,
what?
I
You trying
think
to
she
take- you trying to
engaged
get
in
me to toss
tortious
this judge
behavior,
up
had no
and fuck you
intention to
upside
do
your
it.
head.
She deluded you. Bottom line is I'll add another
Sonya,
1,000 on there
no,
for
no,
the
no.
criminal
Stay quiet
activity.
for 1 minute.
2,000 in your cost.
Listen
Take
to
this
the
fool
tape.
out
Don't
of
hit
here
that
now.
gavel yet, 'cause I ain't done.
You done.
he's done.
Bye. You have no right there for it. Get some exercise. Out of here.
The defendant got on thin ice pretty quick with the judge, getting familiar and disrespectful right out of the gate. She should have used that time to defend herself. She'll pay. Now, on to the next case.
Please raise your right hand.
Assistant manager Michael Harcharik is suing his former friend for a vitamin package. Defendant Christopher Riedel says the plaintiff offered to pay.
Mr. Harkarik, you're suing a friend of yours. You allege that you advanced close to $1,000 to acquire a set package of merchandise that he was to sell or use. You first.
Sure. Well, Judge, we're here today because I've known Chris for a really long time, and we were together at this company that he wanted to join. So
he didn't join it, and he didn't work for it, and that was your project.
Who, mine?
Yes.
Oh, well, no, sir.
Tell
Actually,
me what you were saying. He didn't work for that company. They have these little house parties, and the people that are having the house party talk about the BMWs and the Mercedes Benzes that they've acquired and how substantially their income has increased. And, oh, we've got this great product, and if you go door to door and sell it, and the presentation is 3 hours long, there are 91 pages in the presentation. They have to read every one of them, every word, every line in order. And if anybody interrupts, they start all over again. And somewhere toward the end, they start letting you see samples, and then you're advised that you have to pay $500, $750, $1,000, $1,500 to acquire this first sample package. And if you sell it, you can make another order. Well, guess what? Everybody that buys one of these packages is going to pay the $500, $750, $1,500, whatever. They won't make a dime because nobody wants to buy the stuff. And guess what? The real money is made not by selling the product door to door, but selling it to the suckers who want to buy the big package and think they can make money for it.
Yes, sir. Well, he did take it by choice, and if he did give it back to me, I could have returned it. But the fact is he took it in possession and used it. And I tried to contact him for many months to get him to pay me back for it, and for which I put it on a credit card. Since then, I've been having to pay those payments. In fact, I'm only asking 10% interest on top of it, and considering my interest rate on my credit card is 23%. And it's been over a year and a half.
All right, now, what's your position?
My position is I never agreed to pay anything back, for one. Two, I did not receive all of the stuff that they said they were going to send. And three, I tried to sell and tried to recruit and all this stuff. Doesn't work out. Decided I didn't want to do it. And here I am today.
In fact, you used the word pyramid scheme in your answer.
Yes.
Why did you come up with that idea?
Because that's the way it's set up. you recruit people to come in and sell your product, and then they recruit more people, and then you recruit more people, and they
And the
recruit.
secret is not selling a product, it's getting people to buy the product to sell.
Exactly.
We'll be back with more Judge Joe Brown in a moment.
I wasn't really there to push him to buy anything. He asked me for the loan, and I didn't even have the money at the time.
What do you mean loan? I want you to get me one of these packages.
You want me to get you one? All right.
Closed captioning sponsored by.
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The plaintiff in this case says he was involved in sales for a health company and his friend wanted in, so he loaned him the money for the introductory package. He says the defendant took the products and never paid him back. Let's take a look.
What are we talking about? You said a health package. What in the world is a health package?
That's the startup package. That's your, they call it the business package. You get all this stuff, these samples and stuff, which they didn't send all of, but you get all these samples and stuff, and you try it out yourself, and then you try and sell it to whoever you can sell it to. And it comes with like a kit, and then, you know, some booklets and like how to do your presentation as well. And I didn't receive all of that stuff, and I did my best to try and sell some stuff, but, you know, nobody wants to buy vitamins from a 21-year-old kid, so, you know.
What do you have to say? Come on. Who might you be, sir? What's your name?
I'm a friend of Chris's. I was there when Michael.
You're Mr. Ward.
Yes.
All right, sir.
When Michael tried to proposition Chris into doing this, it was at my house. Pretty much what I told him, I thought it was a pyramid scheme type thing, and I told him that I didn't want to do it, and I told him he shouldn't do it, but Michael was so adamant on getting him to sign up and getting him into the program.
I wasn't really there to push him to buy anything or have him to join. You know, we were there as a group. He asked me for the loan, and I didn't even have the money at the time.
What do you mean loan?
No, Your Honor, that is
Stop talking. Let me ask him. He's got the burden of proof. What loan?
For the package.
I want you to get me one of these packages.
You want me to get you one? All right.
No, I mean, is that what he said?
Oh, did he say that? No, it actually took a while. It took about a couple weeks.
What was your actual agreement?
The actual agreement was he wanted to join. He wanted to do.
Join what?
I'm not sure exactly the words.
In other words,
but
they're not only going to rip you off by having you be the retail purchaser instead of what you think of as being a retail seller. What they're doing is they're going to have you pay out a fee to join this organization.
Sure. I'm actually confused about it
What
myself.
did he tell you you were supposed to be paying to join this organization?
Basically, when we got started in this whole thing, he said he was really adamant in me getting started in this organization.
I don't know about that.
So he said, I will pull the money out of my own pocket and pay for this health package. And I said, I cannot afford to pay this back. This is $900 and I cannot afford this. And since he said that we were going to make so much money at this, he went out of pocket and went and bought this health package, which in return, I was supposed to sell.
Got tendered to you, and you're supposed to sell it and give him the $900 back after you sell it.
Judge Joe Brown makes his ruling after this.
Did an ex leave you for someone else and it's costing you? Call 877-JOE'S-LAW or visit JudgeJoeBrown.com.
That is a flat-out pyramid scheme. I can't enforce anticipated profits, return, or whatever may have been incurred as an otherwise viable debt behind an illegal activity.
Oh, yes, sir. I don't expect you to.
Well, then what do you want me to do? You're asking me to give you some relief, but in order to give you relief, I have to find that there's a valid contractual agreement between you and he, and I can't do that because that would acknowledge the validity of the illegal pyramid scheme. Now, you got took. Now, you've learned in life, cost you a little less than $1,000. Just about everybody has run into that growing up. So there's one truth about the thing. There's no such thing as easy money. You got to work your butt off to get it. Anyway, good night.
This courtroom is now in recess.
Well, the defendant says he wasn't hot on this business venture once he realized it cost almost $1,000 to do it. The judge is suspicious too. He's not going to validate it with a judgment. Case dismissed. We'll be right back. We're back. The plaintiff tried to claim that his buddy was aching to get in on this health supply business, but the defendant says once he heard about the financial strings attached, he was turned off. The judge says he can't do anything for the plaintiff. The case is dismissed.
For information on future cases, check out our website at judgejoebrown.com.